Hey y'all, I'm Coco.
I'm Mac, and welcome to
Coco Mac Lifestyles. So, this is kind of a tough video, especially for me. We have, witnessed, and seen a lot in the lifestyle, and heard horror stories and experienced certain things as well. And we kind of wanted to make a video talking about the responsibilities of dominance. My previous dynamic was what introduced me to the lifestyle. And it wasn't until, honestly, today that I realized just how, I don't want to say fucked up, but just how fucked up it was, And so it had us, y'all know we always talking all day, all the time. But it got us, really having a discussion on the responsibilities of dominance and what that means to not only the D type, but the S type.
So, to all of you, men, women, NB, whatever you may be, that feel like you identify as dominant. I am not a coach. I'm not an expert.
We are not gurus.
However, I am active, and there are certain things that we all need to understand if we are going to be active as dominants. It feels really nice to have somebody look up to you as their dominant. It feels nice to more or less claim ownership of a submissive. But we are not in it because it feels nice. We are in it for the responsibility that comes with it. And when somebody places their faith, their trust, their life in your hands, you need to treat that with the delicacy that it has. And, that's a lot of pressure sometimes. If you are not ready for that pressure, you don't need to be presenting yourself as a dominant. No, you're not going to be perfect. I'm not perfect, by any means. But you do not get to come first. You don't get to put your pleasure before your submissive's care. And you need to understand that when you make promises, your word is your bond. That's not even as a dominant. That's as a responsible adult. You all right?
Mm-hmm. So the idea of having a submissive, like Max said, sounds really nice. The showmanship of it, this person belongs to me, they're mine, pet names, social media clout. But, and I'm talking to the D types out there, if you are at a point where you feel like you want an S type, ask yourself the question, are you prepared to have this person's mental health in your hand? Are you prepared to sacrifice whatever you may have going on to make sure that they are cared for and that they are, keeping themselves healthy? Like, are you prepared for that? Not just, are you prepared to spank somebody on the butt 3 times while you're hitting it from the back? Like, are you actually prepared to take care of somebody? Because that's what it means to be a dominant. You are actually taking care of someone. You are putting their life, their mental health, their well-being in your hand. and you are presenting yourself as someone who is worthy of that leadership, of that care. Are you ready for that? Because if you're not, leave people the fuck alone. Leave people alone from jump. Don't even say, yeah, I can do that. You can't. If you can't lead yourself out of a paper bag, leave people the fuck alone. I am about to tell my business. I was introduced to the lifestyle by my first dom, and all of the surface things were happening. So I thought that I was getting exactly what I needed. The analogy that I gave Mac was being thirsty, not realizing what's supposed to quench the thirst, right? Because before I got into the lifestyle, I knew I wanted something, but I didn't know exactly what it was. I didn't know that BDSM was a thing. So being introduced to the lifestyle and actually finding somebody who I thought was compatible, I felt like I got my thirst quenched, and it was a constant stream filling up my cup. And after about a year or so, my then partner explained that they wanted to pause the dynamic. I didn't know what that meant, but I felt like, okay, well, if I'm too much in that capacity and you needed to work on yourself, who am I to stop you from working on yourself, right? So now there's no more constant pouring into the cup. I can see the person holding the pitcher, but they told me their arm is tired, right? So now my cup's empty, and I'm looking at the person who's holding the pitcher, and I'm wondering, how long is your arm gonna hurt? Are you gonna do anything about your arm hurting? No? My cup is still empty, right? And it was in that reflection, I realized that I had been abandoned as a sub. He was still my partner, but I had been abandoned as a sub. There was never a check-in, a check-up, and this was before I understood that my little was also my inner child. And like, even now, there is trauma there when it comes to allowing that part of me to feel safe, allowing that part of me to be consistent in being able to express that part of me. And it took its toll on my mental health. And I am grateful for Mac, because he understands where I'm coming from. He allows me the freedom and the space, the safe space, to work through it, to heal, but also express myself in whatever capacity that I choose to. It's almost as if he allows me the sovereignty of submission while still being my dominant, which feels amazing. But it wasn't until today that we really started talking about it, and I realized just exactly the type of trauma that's been left on me as a submissive. Now, I could give a rat's ass about my ex-partner when it comes to the actual relationship. I moved on. But there is damage there for me as a submissive, because that was all I knew. And I didn't realize just how unqualified he was until I understood the lifestyle better, and I actually found what I was looking for. And I feel like it's very much imperative to kind of drill home vetting and drill the idea of understanding who this person is outside of even vetting. Outside, who are you outside of the lifestyle? What kind of person are you? If this person is someone you don't like outside of the dynamic, regardless if you like them inside the dynamic, there's something to reevaluate.
There's something that is often said in circles of dominance, and that's that dominants aren't the ones that are in charge. The submissives are. Because just as easily as they offer you their submission, just as easily as they offer you their consent, they can take it away. Now, while technically the same is true of dominance, you know, if your mental health is not allowing you, or, you know, the dynamic isn't working for you, yes, you have the right to put yourself first. You also have to consider that the damage that you cause in these acts, and the way that you approach everything that you do when it comes to a submissive that's in your care. I don't like telling people what to do. I don't like coming off as if I am the golden standard when it comes to anything. I'm not an authority. But I take what I do very seriously, and I feel like anybody else who does what I do should be doing the same. That's really all I have.
All in all, leave people alone if you're not ready for it. If you're not ready to be there when this person is having a mental breakdown, if you're not ready to be there to pick them up when they fall, remind them of who they are, if you are not ready because you can't do that for yourself, leave people the fuck alone, man. Like,